Greetings.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick, saying I'm all out of bubblegum.
Hello.
I thought you were going to say Simon says hello.
Oh, Simon says hello, and hopefully everybody's having a good night.
Well, it's too late now because I faded the music out. Maybe next week. Simon says hello. So, how's everybody's week been so far?
I think I made DirtyDan's week way better.
I think you did too. I know you made mine better earlier today when you were messaging me. And Dirty Dan, or Simon, let's start with you. Dirty Dan, we'll get your feedback from it. Tell us what is going on with the show, Simon.
You have been nominated for an award.
We have been nominated for a major award, Dirty Dan.
Fragile, must be Italian.
I think it says fragile. And Simon was telling me about this earlier today, and I had no clue. And stop me if I'm explaining it wrong, Simon. We had to be nominated by people to even get placed on the ballot for people to go vote, correct?
By multiple people, probably by 30 or 40 people, man, at least.
I mean, that is very cool. Thank you guys very, very, very much. And what was the place they can go vote again? Either one of you guys can mention that.
Appalachian Arts and Entertainment.
Is it .com? Okay. And if you can't vote for us, we would like for you to vote for us, but if you can't, we have some friends of the show on there.
Well, before you say that, let me just mention that our friends of the shows are in multiple spots and we're just in podcast.
Oh, so okay.
Y'all go ahead and vote for us for podcasts, and then like the spooky family and whatnot, vote for them in the other categories. But
so they're listed in other categories as well.
I did see them twice.
Okay, I did not know that. But be sure to check out and vote for the Spooky Family Podcast and the Homegrown Podcast with our friend of the show, Eli.
Oh yeah, there's that guy, Eli.
Yeah, and thank you guys very much for. It's an honor just to be nominated. So, and
listen, I'm not going to vote for Eli until he eats that worm.
Okay. Well, you made a statement just then about us only being in one, and I've not been on Facebook since I commented something. I bet you've already commented on that, right?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm in shock. We have some good email this week. We have some good stories to talk about. And Simon says, Goose says Simon can read the first email. Go ahead, Simon.
And Simon says, okay. All right. This is from Samantha. Hello, everyone. I've been enjoying the podcast and the radio show. I think this has been asked before, but where do you get the ideas for each show? Are they pre-planned or spur of the moment? Roswell.
Thank you very much, Samantha, for writing in. We have answered that before. I think it's been a while since somebody's asked it. It is pre-planned. Some stuff
spur of the moment.
Some stuff we do spur of the moment, and sometimes that has been like catching lightning in a bottle. Other times it's blew up in her face. It is
pre-planned spur of the moment.
Well, but we've never done spur of the moment stuff on the radio. See. Well, we may have once, and I had to spend about an hour editing it. I'm like, nope, we can't do that anymore.
No, we just don't let that guest back on.
No, she can come on anytime she wants to.
She just can't say anything.
We pre-plan stuff, and like the email. I emailed this out today, and when email comes in, I copy and paste it to an app. I put myself or Simon's name on it, or Dirty Dan, whoever's going to read it, and we just take turns. We have a format that basically says Here To Chew Bubblegum on top, says radio show underneath, that says opening, then it's got Goose, semicolon greetings. That's what I'm going to say. So we do have a format to go by. As far as what we talk about, it's just stuff that we find interesting and fascinating. But it is pre-planned with some tabs or touches of spur of the moment stuff. Correct, Dirty Dan?
Or some spur of the moment stuff with touches of pre-planned.
Depends
on the day.
There you go. Simon, what do you think? Do you think that we have a good format? Do you think we got a good setup? We do it good, or this is your third show with us, and do you think we should change things?
I think being nominated speaks for itself, man. I think you're all doing the right. I think we are doing great right now.
Well, thank you.
Nominated.
Thank you very much. I'm going to take the next email from Jimmy, and this is a long one. That's what she said.
What she said.
The email, that is. And let's see. Jimmy says, "Hello, Goose, Simon, and Dirty Dan. The following news clip is from last year. I was wondering if you were aware of it at the time and what your thoughts were. The story takes place in Oklahoma City. A state lawmaker invited the world to participate in the search for Bigfoot in southeastern Oklahoma by offering a $3 million bounty for the ever-exclusive creature. He also said that a television show about Bigfoot is being shot in Oklahoma. He also said that the $3 million bounty is to catch the Bigfoot only. Thank you for taking time to read my email. Happy New Year." Thank you very much, Jimmy, for that email. I remember reading a little something about that, but I did not follow it. What about you, Dirty Dan?
I actually went and found the article today and giggled at it for a minute and then went, well, that's never going to work.
So was the actual article a lot longer than Jimmy's email?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Okay. God bless you, Jimmy. Thank you very much for shortening it down.
Paraphrasing.
So, yes, definitely.
It started out with like a $1.6 million. Well, it started on the 100,000s, then it like went 1.6, and then it went to 3 million.
Simon, you have a good friend named Seth Amberg, who's a friend of our show as well. What do you think of that offer that they did last year?
I've never met the guy.
Oh, you've never met Seth Amberg? Okay.
No, I've not been blessed enough to be in his presence.
Okay. Well, you know, he's a really good guy. And Seth, I hope you don't get mad at me saying this. His left ear is about 2 inches lower than his right ear, but it's not that noticeable unless you're up close. So,
or
you
far
just
away.
Called Simon Seth.
Simon says whatever. But what did you think about the Bigfoot story, Simon?
I've never heard of it, but I did hear of where on a Discovery documentary a couple years ago where they was offering a picture of a mermaid, and if it was clear, they would give you like $1 million.
Really? Okay. Oh, and still nobody can.
How do you feel that about Bigfoot bringing in 3 times what a mermaid would?
Not surprised.
I'd rather see a picture of Bigfoot. I'm going to be honest. You know, I know the mermaid legend goes back farther, and I know that you're sitting there wondering now, why did I say that? But
a little bit.
Well, I mean, Bigfoot, Yeti, the Bottomless Snowman, those have been seen all over the world. You know, there's reports not just in the United States, but all over the world. Now, the same thing, mermaids, possibly too. I just, you know, there was no mermaid shows when I was growing up. There was shows about Bigfoot. He was on an episode of the $6 Million Man.
There's no Bigfoot movies. There's only a Little Mermaid movie.
Well, there was Harry and the Hendersons. You said there was no Bigfoot movies. Yes, there was. There was Harry and the Hendersons.
I've never heard of it.
You never heard of Harry and the Hendersons with John Lithgow? Oh, my gosh. Simon, have you ever heard of it?
No, man.
Okay.
I was born in the 90s.
Okay. Well, never mind then. Dirty Dan, go ahead and read the next email.
All right. So we got Robbie writing in, says, "Here to chew bubblegum. I have a comment that I'd like to share. I realize man is looking for other planets to live on because scientists know something we don't. What do you think is coming?" Goose?
I have no idea. Robbie, thank you for the email. More people are saying that, and they have been the last 2 to 3 years. They've been saying that. So I think Robbie, you know, may have a point. You know, and we mentioned a little bit. We've mentioned this on the show before, and then Rebecca mentioned it on the podcast Sunday. Maybe you even mentioned it as well. NASA started out, you know, searching the ocean, and then they switched gears. You know, they were called something else. Then they switched gears and, you know, started searching the moon and other planets and so forth. And our next email that Simon's going to read kind of fits into what I think could be very possible and could be coming. And that is a solar flare. Simon, or Dirty Dan, what do you think could be coming?
I mean, the sun is supposed to, you know, allegedly run out of light sooner rather than later. everybody keeps blaming all this global warming stuff and saying we're slowly going underwater and this, that, and the third. And I think people are just kind of starting to run around like chickens with their head cut off, scared because nobody actually knows what's going on. So they're just looking for an easy out.
No, there you go. Simon, what do you think? Do you think anything's coming for Earth?
I mean,
Mermaids and Bigfoots?
I think the weather is crazy, man. I don't know if anybody else out there, like besides Kentucky, out there listening, but Kentucky, man, the weather around here, I think everybody around here knows that we had some crazy weather. I mean, went from snow to literally flooding in one day.
Yeah. And we had tornadoes one week, we had flooding the next week, we had snow the following week. It was just constant. Simon, you want to go ahead and take the next email and we'll expand a little bit on what I'd mentioned there.
Yeah, man. And I'll try not to make no more old jokes.
Oh, man, you're fine. You make all the old jokes you want to. Dirty Dan don't care. We know he's old.
Nope.
All right, this is from Anton. I think that's how you say it. Hey, guys, have you seen all those articles about an upcoming solar Armageddon? If they happen, expect all the internet and the electrical grid to be down for some time. I think it's pretty crazy. I wonder how much of it is just fluff or if it's actually a short-term things that can happen like this year. What do you guys think? Roswell. Thank you for that email.
Thank you very much. Dirty Dan, what do you think?
I'm going to be as radio safe with this as I can.
Okay.
First, every time I hear the word Armageddon,
I think of Bruce Willis.
I do not.
I'm sorry, I do.
There is an NSFW radio clip on YouTube. Just type in Armageddon Tiki and NSFW means not safe for work, in case anybody did not know what that meant. Solar flares are let's Armageddon.
Yeah, let's I'm gonna mark a timestamp down on that.
I didn't say anything that wasn't inappropriate.
I know.
If you edit that out, I'm gonna be mad.
No, you will be all right. You will be all right.
Because the listeners need to hear this quality content. It was an actual New York Times article. All right. It was a true thing.
But going back to solar flares.
Solar flares. And Armageddon.
Solar flares are real.
Solar flares happen all the time. That's when we get the hour, several hours where we have EMF just glitching all of our technology, our computers, our VoIP, the voice over internet protocol phones,
cars,
all that stuff. Just Teslas.
No. Well, okay. All right. Let me throw something at you. If a solar flare hits and takes the electrical grid down, how are you going to pump that gasoline into your car if you have no electricity?
Buddy, I still got 12 volts and a transfer pump on that truck.
Okay, but
I'll be okay.
Do you think you could safely use that at a local gas station?
Yeah.
No, you cannot. Yeah. Man, come on now. You have to have a plan. You can't just pull up there with a pump and start doing it. People would attack you just for the pump.
Do you forget where I work?
What? Oh, okay. All right. Got you. That makes sense.
I'll be okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah. You will be okay.
Ding, ding, Dirty Dan gets a point there.
And we've talked about solar flares on the show before. They are very interesting, and they could happen. That is possible. They could happen. Simon, what do you think about solar flares?
Oh, by the way, just touched on that real quick, Simon. If for some reason the grid does go down, go to a truck stop first, because we have backup generators that kick on if we lose power. So as long as we have fuel in the tanks to feed those generators, just go to a truck stop to get gas. You're welcome. Simon,
good.
You're up.
I mean, man, solar stuff is definitely not as good as like power stuff, man. Like gasoline is always going to be there.
Yeah. We had I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. You are right. Gas is a lot better than solar. In our area, especially solar, I don't think we could do solar, like the panels and stuff in the wintertime because we don't have sunlight that long. A solar flare once hit in the late 1890s, I think or maybe in the 1880s. I can't remember. They had put Simon, a solar flare don't have anything to do with solar energy.
I don't know, man.
Okay. That's no problem.
You can take that out.
Oh, no, I'm going to leave that part in there. A solar flare is like a giant blast of extreme radiation from the sun that can fry power grids and take down electrical systems and so forth. Okay, I'm going to start back up. So back in the Old West days, the telegraph, they had some of those up, and there was one town out west that got hit by a solar flare, and it took everything out. And I think in the late 70s, early 80s, there was one in Canada. There was a small city that got hit by solar flare. So if this happens on a global level, you're talking a couple of years to get the power back on. So,
that all kind of depends though, because we have backups and there are capacitors and resistors and there's basically giant fuses and relays in the transformers and whatnot. For that reason. So if it takes out a power grid, it's only gonna be because of the EMF.
Right.
Nothing's gonna physically come down and fry it, and it's not like the.
Did you say EMF? That was a band from. Yeah, no, that was a band from the 90s. It's EMP, electromagnetic pulse.
It's also electromagnetic frequency. EMF.
No, that was a band from the 90s.
No,
I know, man. I'm just giving you a hard time.
I was born in the 90s.
But do you guys have anything to add before I move on to the next email?
We're young.
Now this is the first time this guy's wrote in because I don't remember this name in the podcast or radio show. Gum Man Stan says, this is my first time writing in. I should have looked ahead and pre-read this. I discovered the show through a friend of mine. Have you researched or talked about the Secret Space Force? If not, I recommend you check it out. Love the ear candy that you put out. Thank you very much, Gum Man Stan. Yes, we have talked about the Secret Space Force on the show before. We've not
have you ever watched that series?
Some, yes. Yes, I have. So, now my son recently told me about this YouTuber who got into this organization where people claim to be former soldiers from the secret space program. And it was about 28 minutes, but it was really interesting. So
I think I put off watching Space Force for quite some time. And then
Space Force is a good show.
Well, I was like, you know what? It's Steve Carell.
Yep.
I got to do it. I'm going to do it. And I was really actually impressed by his acting in that. It was still funny. I thought it was still funny, but it was also really serious. And I just didn't imagine, no one Steve from The Office or 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Right.
And then seeing him actually do a series that is somewhat kind of serious and has a very, very high production cost. Kind of neat.
Yes, it is. And they're coming out with a season 2 sometime. I do know that the everything's going around kind of delayed production a little bit, but they were confirmed for a season 2. So, who's got the last email? You, Dirty Dan?
Yes.
Read away, my friend. Read away.
All right, we got Zach writing in.
Hello, Zach.
And Zach says, are there any movies that you guys are looking forward to seeing this year? Roswell.
Who wants to go first with that?
Not me.
Why? There's no movies you want to see?
Buddy, first off, if we're going to go on that rant, all right, I can't fit in movie theater chairs very nicely. Second, no, I don't think there are any because I don't really care.
Well, actually, you're wrong. There's one coming out next month called Jackass Forever that I want to go watch.
Okay,
So.
now that I could probably just get a bootleg copy of it.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Simon? Any movies coming out that you want to go watch?
Definitely Spider-Man, and I know you actually watched that.
Spider-Man is awesome. It is awesome. So
I can't ever look at Tom Holland the same after watching him do the lip sync battle cover of Umbrella by Rihanna.
Yeah, I've never saw that, so I'll.
Oh, you should.
No. I really shouldn't.
I'll give the guy props. Like 110% heart and soul. Killed that performance way better than Rihanna's version, like the music video. Just not something you want to see every day.
I want to thank all the listeners for writing in, and remember, you can always call, text, or leave a voicemail that we will play on the radio show. Please keep it clean. That number is 606-373-3396. That's 606-373-3396. Before you tell them how to email Dirty Dan, what are you laughing at, buddy?
So I decided, I've been trying to hop on the Here to Chew Bubblegum and do a live while we do these things.
Yes.
And we have a friend of the show that says Goose has some home movies that you can buy on the dark web.
No, Goose does not. No, Goose does not.
It's just funny.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Is that guy's name Mug Brandon?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know who he is then.
Nope. His initials are ES.
Oh, I know who that is. Maybe me and ES do. So.
Oh, you and Mr.
ES
himself have movies on the dark web to buy.
Yeah.
Is that true?
No, it's not true.
And Rebecca said featuring Duck with Goose.
But again, thank everyone for emailing in. Dirty Dan, how can they email us here on the show?
Goose and duck sauce. Anyway, you can email Goose at HereToChewBubblegum.com, DirtyDan at HereToChewBubblegum.com, and email into the show at HereToChewBubblegum@yahoo.com.
And you can also email Rebecca at HereToChewBubblegum.com.
I radio. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's no problem. We're going to go ahead and jump into segment 1. And Dirty Dan, do you want to start out for us this week? Do you want Simon to start out? Do you want me to start out? I know in the format it says you, so whichever.
I mean, oh man, I am ready to go. I am full tilt here, buddy.
All right, buddy, you go ahead. What are we going to be talking about, Dirty Dan?
NASA has hired priests to prepare humans for contact with aliens. This is a legitimate 110% true story.
Now, really? Okay, all right.
110%.
Let's hear that.
This is from ScienceJournal.com. So, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration has called upon a priest and other religious experts to prepare Earth for a possible alien encounter. NASA has enlisted the advice and expertise of 24 theologians to help predict how various cultures and religions from different parts of the world would react to alien contact. Back in 2014, Princeton University Center for Theological Inquiry, or CTI, in New Jersey, was given a $1.1 million grant, which is where the research is now set to take place. Reverend Dr. Andrew Davidson, a British priest and theologist at the University of Cambridge, is among the 24 who will debate how the heavily anticipated alien discovery would be received by different religions across the globe. And Davidson suggests that the possibility of God having created other life forms in the universe in his upcoming book, Astrobiology and Christian Doctrine. He states, non-religious people also seem to overestimate the challenges that religious people would more or less experience if faced with evidence of alien life. The former head of NASA's Astrobiology Institute, Carl Pilker, explained that the theologians were brought in to bridge the gap between science and religion to consider the implications of applying the tools of the late 20th and early 21st century science to the questions that had been considered in religious traditions for hundreds of thousands of years. Pilker believes that it is just inconceivable to think that Earth is the only planet home to life forms where there are over 100 billion stars in this galaxy and over 100 billion galaxies in the universe.
You know, all I'm going to say about that is go back last year when all the stuff, when people, and I think the guy said this around in the end of April to the end of May sometime. And the former president, Barack Obama, stated in an interview, I don't know, I can't remember if it was on a TV show, if it was a print interview, but he stated that when asked about aliens and UFOs, and again, this was last year when all this was on everybody's mind going around, that people could not distinguish. They basically couldn't handle the truth if it came out because it would throw their religious beliefs. It would make them question them, basically. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Simon, what do you think about that? NASA's hiring priests and other theologists to brace us for the impact of alien arrival.
Well, I think they just basically admitted that they know aliens are real.
Kind of.
And I mean, if they have grants from the government for this.
Yeah. They're definitely doing something. So, Simon, what's your story for this week? Or one of your stories for this week?
This is from MoveOn out of Cranberry Township, PA, Pennsylvania.
Oh,
Dirty Dan's hometown.
Not my hometown, not my home state.
That is his home state. Do not let him lie to you.
All right, this was do you hear a lot of sightings there, Dirty Dan?
One for each, you buy one, get one.
All right. The story is I was sitting in a drive-thru at a local fast food place and noticed two lights in the sky that looked like two North Stars directly next to each other. I proceeded to take a picture and noted a craft of some sort that I was unable to see with my naked eye. As you see in the attached photo, I then pulled through the drive-thru and broke eye contact with it for only about 30 seconds. Upon looking back into the sky, it was gone without a trace. No lights moving away, no sounds, nothing.
MUFON is, they recently moved back to Ohio, which is good.
Are we sure that's good?
Well, yeah, because, they're close to us. They're close to us. I was going to say thus. I don't know why I was going to say thus. But, I think that's a good thing. And MUFON, okay, you have to look at organizations like MUFON and other organizations that we've not had any government agencies to investigate this stuff. These guys volunteer and step up and do it. Now, this segues into my story. The Pentagon, as we've talked about before, launches a new office, and not all believers are happy about it. Now, this was released just a few hours ago, this story on NBC News. A new office in the Pentagon will investigate sightings of unidentified flying UFOs, but longtime UFO enthusiasts are skeptical. According to NBC, putting the new Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon program in the purview of the Office of the Under-Secretary of Defense for Intelligence and Security has some UFOologists upset as they don't exactly trust the military to reveal whatever truth is that is out there. This is the subject. We have a history of secrecy, and anything that lacks new openness about the information is subject to more possible inappropriate control. Ron James, a spokesperson for the nonprofit Mutual UFO Network, which investigates sightings, told NBC News. Now, the Mutual UFO Network is also MUFON that Simon was just talking about. The creation of the new office has codified in the National Defense Authorization Act that passed this past December, which calls for the establishment of the office, organizational structure, and authorities to address unidentified aerial phenomena. The topic has received renewed interest in recent years after the publication of videos taken by U.S. military pilots showing the objects moving at incredible speeds and executing complex aerial maneuvers. Now, I've got a notation debate. I want your guys' opinion on something real quick before I finish this story. And I do realize we're running a little bit long before break, but we're going to get through this. Okay, now, when all this came about and they went into closed secrecy with all these politicians and they were talking about it, and some after have said they were man-made, okay? If that was man-made and a human pilot was in it, which is possible, go back and research Gary McKinnon, 2001, looks like they could leave this planet now if they wanted to. Do you see what I'm saying? If our pilots has this and they could, now, if you go back and you research TR-3B, we have had this technology and have been able to leave the planet for at least 30 years, according to some documents that we've talked about on the show and that have been found. You can look these up yourself, or you can email us and we'll hook you up with those documents and direct you which way to go. But if our military pilots are just seeing this, it just makes you wonder. You've got your guy, Elon Musk, and Jeff Bezos trying their little ships to get to Mars. And if you've got these, just imagine if Elon Musk had this technology, what he could do with it. No, I'm not saying that he doesn't. I'm not saying this technology is not from Earth. I just think that, if these are craft flown by humans, like some politicians have said, that the sky's the limit. Simon, what's your thoughts?
I think our politicians are hiding everything away from us, man. They do not want us to find out the truth, that aliens exist and that they have more technology than us. And if we got a war with the aliens, we'd be in bad trouble.
Dirty Dan?
I think we have notably had this for about 74 and a half years. I've been doing some research and thinking that two crashes that were, happened about 74 and a half years ago were more of a recovery mission than a information or gathering mission.
Right.
Just that was already after the time that, say 1,600 or so people got brought over from one place to another for a bunch of secret science stuff. I just,
You're kind of at a loss for words, aren't you?
I'm not so much at a loss for words as I'm almost getting angry.
Now, why would you be getting angry? Why?
Just because of all the hidden things and potentials and opportunities that have been hid from everybody just because someone might not go with their agenda.
Right.
That's just,
and that makes perfect sense.
Like, look at all the money Elon has sunk into it. And where he's gotten without that help and without that technology.
Yeah.
And just thinking how much better we would all be off
if he had access.
Someone would have said, hey, by the way, this might help.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. I'm going to finish out this story and we're going to take a break. Whether these sightings are really unexplained technology is up for debate. U.S. officials are mostly concerned about earthbound threats, and they worry that foreign governments might be making advances in flight technology right under the U.S. military's nose. Our national security efforts rely on aerial supremacy, and these phenomena present a challenge to our dominance, said Senator Kristen Gillibrand, who spearheaded the bipartisan measure. The United States needs a coordinated effort to take control and understand whether these aerial phenomenon belong to a foreign government or something else altogether. And we're going to take a break. We're going to have a quick plug for one of our friends' podcast show. Then we're going to go into a new Mysterious Appalachian Mountains with Seth, and this will be part 1. Part 2 will be coming up next week. You're listening to Here to Chew Bubblegum. We'll be back in just a moment.
to the mysterious Appalachian Mountains with Seth and David. And how are you doing today, David?
I'm doing great, Seth. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. And we actually got a guest on tonight, a famous actor and a Bigfoot researcher, Conor Flynn. How are you doing tonight, man?
Oh, bro, I am doing incredible. Sundays are my favorite days. It's the day to get close with the creator. Plus, there's football on, and I'm already just out here exploring this abandoned park. It's called Jennings Field. It's in the Panhandle, Florida, and it's actually set to be destructed here very soon. They're going to put an apartment complex. So I was just filming around here, and this place really comes to life at night. But man, it's just good to be here. And the Browns are winning, and the Titans are winning. The Steelers are losing, so it's a good time to be alive.
Especially when the Steelers are losing and the Browns are winning. That's a great time.
1,000,000%.
Absolutely, man. And I know you have a dog man story to tell us.
Yes, man. That's what really started my journey. I grew up in Ohio, Cleveland, the Mistake on the Lake, right on Lake Erie, where there's tons of UFO sightings, even so much that they say there might be a base underneath the water of the Great Lakes. And there's a serpent that patrols it, but the grass man is very well known in Ohio. But we had an encounter with a thing called the Sleepy Hollow Wolfman. And two of my friends actually had a daytime encounter with the same creature a couple weeks before. So I was well adjusted to hearing about this mythological creature in my best friend's backwoods. So I was really looking forward to it. And it happened on a Friday before a golf league on a Saturday. So pretty much it was the first time I was ever sleeping over there. So I was just really excited to be at Alex's house. He just moved there. It was really nice, had a nice decked out basement with a bar, playroom, and a billiards table. We were shooting pool, and they had a walkout basement with the glass doors, and then it was the patio, and it went for about 40 yards into some caves and cliffs, dense woods. And that area also had an abandoned drive-in theater and a abandoned swimming hole that had cement like diving spots. So some old, forbidden, archaic, man-made structures, which that I've came to my research somehow magnifies and is some kind of huge tower of pull of energy for these Sasquatch, the werewolves, the gremlins, the ghouls. So I think this has been mapped out from long before. But my buddies had the daytime encounter where it crossed right in front of their car while they were being driven home by a fireman. They thought it was a deer at first, but it was on two legs, and they realized it was like a werewolf-like creature. They always said Wolfman, so that was what was in my head. That night when we were shooting pool, after about an hour or so, we get this strange feeling. I actually had my buddies write a testimony for my first book of what happened because it was blurry, it was staticky, we were young. It still feels like a dream, it really does. But our details still definitely align, and it did happen. But Jake and Alex describe it as rustling, like they heard something physically outside the basement, outside of the windows. And me, I think we were internally zapped by something like infrasound, but very passively. It was not meant to hurt us or make us ill at all, just to alert us that something was out there. Maybe even just a glance, a strong look at us, that just to get our attention. But we stopped playing, we turn off the lights, and we start looking through this small window on the side, and we see this hulking figure kind of step out of the cavern, and it was darker than the night. And I kind of saw like pointed ears. My buddies actually said that they saw glowing eyes that kind of, took over their mind, but I don't remember that much. I was just really into the huge, like Hulk type size of this creature. But we dove into the staircase after what feels like, an hour, but it was probably just a few split seconds. And then we chilled out for a bit after got our courage. We looked back out there, didn't see anything. We tried watching movies, tried getting back to normal. We were so scared. I still remember shaking, and it curled up shaking, thinking this thing could just break through the glass and take us out. We went upstairs and slept up in his room, on the second floor from the very basement. And his mom woke up the next morning and was like, why did you guys go up there? Why did you guys leave the playroom? And we said, we saw a huge creature in the backyard. And she said that every night since they moved in, she heard man-like owl calls coming from that same area. And they weren't the only ones that reported strange things. The town mascot is the Brunswick Blue Devil. A lot of people said that it was a chupacabra, but some people think a chupacabra could be a werewolf, ranging from 4 feet tall to 8 feet tall. So it was very interesting, and that kind of propelled all my stuff going forward. Me and Jake had many different encounters after that, during blood moon eclipses, during when we went hunting and hiking in the Ohio Valley, down here into Florida looking for the skunk ape. I feel like it's followed me from the land of 1,000 mounds, which is Ohio, and it's kind of navigated me down to the Florida swamps. And I've had tons of strange encounters down here. We have found Sasquatch hair in my ACA on a picnic table, and then black hair in the green swamp. And both of them we put under a microscope, and they had clear, clairvoyant tendencies, man. It was like angelic. This DNA probably can stop all the problems of our modern man. And we're hoping to submit those to Doug Highcheck's new study that he's from Monster Quest, and he's sending out more than 40 DNA samples to 3 different labs and really going to propel this thing forward. I'm just really excited for the 2022. I'm constantly recording. I got my GoPro running at all times. I already went on a hike this morning, videotaped a cavern that we've casted a footprint out of. We called it the Alamo Caveman or the Alamo Druid because there's tons of other animal prints too that are very miniature. So I think that, Lord of the Rings and Harry and the Hendersons and even like Bone Tomahawk, they have roots to reality, and Shrek and the Grinch and all these other things that kind of make light of these beasts in the woods. There's something to it, and there's so much evidence that's piling up, going from credible reports from police, firemen, Native American, and then also professors from college and high-ranking military people. Just on my channel alone, I've interviewed land surveyors, policemen, firemen that have all had strange encounters while on duty. And it just goes back to even cave art and then giant sculptures that are found way deep underground. So I think that modern academia and science community is going to have to either come to terms with the existence, or they're really going to be fighting a losing battle, because the evidence is piling up little by little. And I really enjoy sharing it in these kind of podcasts, live at conferences. I spoke at a festival in Pace, Florida, and then I'm speaking at the Lakeland Great Florida Bigfoot Conference, which is totally major. That's major leagues. And then I'm really pumped about just starting my own show as well. And my TikTok's been blowing up. One of my videos just hit 3 million, and another one just hit 1 million this morning. So I'm approaching like 45,000 followers or something. I'm at like 42 right now, but the pace is crazy. But who knows, that might all not add up if that dog behind me catches up. But it's just awesome, really spreading my wings and being cutthroat in this world, because all these skeptics are trying to come sideways, but they better be as well researched as us. They say there's no DNA. What about the Ketchum study? What about Doug Highcheck's 40 studies? What about all the different ones coming from across the world? There was a Yeti scalp from Nepal, a finger bone from Nepal, a hand that came across. There's tons of stuff that are in American museums that I've documented and are very easy to reach and access, that we cannot hide behind. There's no more evidence. There's no physical proof, because there is, guys. And we just have to catch up to the time. So I label, Bigfoot skeptics in with giraffe skeptics. They can have their conferences, but guess what? Giraffes exist, and so do Bigfoot. So we just have to bully the bullies, so that way the vulnerable people in this community, they feel confident and calm enough to share their stories. And you don't have to be scared, and you don't have to be perfect to share knowledge, because everything is so blurry in this world that even just a little bit of data and info could provide clarity. So your little instance might, provide the answers to someone really struggling. So I definitely recommend people to speak their truth and not be scared that it might not make too much sense.
Yes, sir, man. And David, what was your thoughts on his story about the dogman?
Oh, that pretty fascinating, actually. You said you saw it coming out of a cave. Is that right?
Yeah, it didn't approach too much, but pretty much just stepped in sight. Or just felt like it stepped inside. It might have not moved the whole time. It might have been stone statue. But I think that it was standing down in the cave, that it was probably 9 feet tall, but appeared to be about 5 foot to 6 foot. Because my buddies actually in their testimony said about 5 foot to 7 feet. But I think it was down in the cave a bit. So it was much bigger than it actually seemed to us on, normal eye level.
Hey everybody, it's John the Bod, aka the Bod Father. I have a new podcast entitled Beyond the Paranormal, which is on every Tuesday night on Beyond the Paranormal YouTube page, and we'll be streaming shortly on our Facebook page as well. If you want some information on the paranormal and cryptids such as UFOs, Bigfoot, Dogman, come and check out Beyond the Paranormal every Tuesday on Beyond the Paranormal podcast YouTube site, and also soon on our Facebook page. Keep checking back, folks. We're going to have a lot of great guests, a lot of great information. Have a good one.
You're listening to Here to Chew Bubblegum with Goose.
Welcome back to Here to Chew Bubblegum with Goose, DirtyDan, and Simon. And Simon says, let's get back to the show.
Very nice, man. Very nice.
Now, why couldn't you do that on the intro?
I am impressed. I am impressed. If we had a guy to work the buttons, they could hit that a lot quicker than me. So
that was a good one. That was a good one.
Dirty Dan, we're going to start out with you in segment 2. What do you have for us this week in segment 2?
So this comes from across the pond over in Liverpool, and it's titled UFO sighting reported a dark gray triangle.
TR3B.
There you go. According to this UFO sightings report, the witness stated that there were hardly any clouds in the sky when I saw a dark UFO fly past. It was dark but with a grayish color and was in a triangle shape. She stated the UFO sighting had 3 shapes also alike following underneath of it, but wondered what it was because it may not be landing gear, but was not sure, and it moved very fast and very silent with it. The witness also stated she lives near Liverpool Airport, which is about 10 minutes away from where she lives. She stated it was not a flock of birds and not any other type of flying animal, as it looked solid and didn't seem to have any resistance to the wind at all. She stated it was up high but looked fairly biggish and could just about see things underneath the UFO. She stated it was all fast, much faster than any plane she'd seen. On my speaking to her over the phone, having been assigned the case, she stated that living under the flight path to the Liverpool airport, she was familiar with the type of aircraft that fly over, as they're low and can be loud, unlike the triangle-shaped craft, which was fast and silent. She then added that she thought maybe the triangle shape might have been a little rounded at each end, but could not be sure. She stated she saw it pass over from about east to west, as if it was heading towards the airport or back across the pond. And as part of the investigation, I contacted the Liverpool airport asking about any flights coming in on the date and time, and they returned with information regarding Ryanair FR 8929 and a map showing the flight path in and height. I looked at it because it was on the 6th of January, and everything in that day, and I'm just shot painting here because I have limited information from this article.
Right.
There was nothing that would have been able to be that high, according to the flight maps. There was nothing flying that could have been at that great a speed. And there was nothing that was registered on those flight maps that was anything other than a commercial or freight airliner. But we also know that everything in the military, like when they were doing the pullout in Afghanistan there, they turn their little trackers off about an hour before they come in for landing and turn them on about an hour after takeoff so that they can't be tracked on the ground and targeted.
Correct.
So
Now, the US's TR3Bs, TR3B, have mostly been black. There's not been any gray ones. I wonder if this
Royal Air
is
Force has 3 of them.
Okay. What color are they? Are they gray?
To me, they look gray bluish.
Okay. So
Like an F-16.
gotcha. So I mean, that's definitely. I mean, you know, and and people may find this as a shock. I'm one of the biggest skeptics when it comes to believing stuff, and I've said this on the show before. I always believe something happened at Roswell. I did not realize all this information, and I'm talking about some of the released documents that aren't redacted, that's on the blackvault.com website from our government, not just our government, but other governments. I did not realize that some of these were out there, and some of this stuff stops and makes you think. Now, I remember the Unsolved Mysteries episode in the 80s that had the little triangle that was seen by different people flying around. When I saw the picture of the TR-3B on the Navy ship, I'm like, that could be Photoshop. When I read the patent for the TR-3B, that is...
You realized it was not Photoshop.
Owned by the Navy, I realized that was not Photoshop, you know.
So you want something else that'll just twiddle your mind here a little bit?
Yes, please.
From January 1st, 2022 to January 11th, at the time the story was published in the morning of 2022, there have been 2,513 UFO sightings so far in that area.
10 days. In 10 days, 2,000 sightings. Now, has the...
2,513.
Has the... what'd you call them? The Royal European Air Control?
RAF.
Okay. Has Major Tom said, these are ours? And if you're older like me, you'll get the Major Tom reference.
Simon over there just giggling. I was born in the 90s. So was I, Simon. Anyway, yes, they have confirmed that we sold them 3 pieces of matching stealth technology to strengthen their national security and strategic planning.
Okay. So we have sold them technology. That's like basically all they're saying. They're not reassuring people these are not extraterrestrials. These are our ships, guys. Don't freak out. They're not coming out and saying that.
No, not yet. But as we know, they now have the UFO Defense Ministries over there.
Yes, they do.
So maybe we'll get some more light on that, as because I haven't seen anything published for a 2022 sighting. Earth Control to Major Tom.
Yeah. You just got that, right? Or did somebody on TikTok get that?
Well, we got ground control to Major Tom, Earth Control to Major Tom. But everybody's just flooding it in.
Yeah. Okay. See. Thank you guys for backing me up.
Oh, I that's why I started getting, because all I heard was ground control Major Tom. We have no reports from them yet for the year of 2022, all 2.5 weeks in.
Okay.
So I don't know if they're still, I also haven't seen anything from the end of the year from them yet. So I don't know if they're just, hey, we put our feelers out there. It's been formed. We're gathering our evidence, data, writing the stories, whatnot, or reports. Right. I don't know if they're going to do like a mass flooding. I don't know if they're going to start publishing once they come out, because they did say it was going to be open to the public. Right. It was going to be public domain. It wasn't going to be hidden. The whole thing was about bringing transparency. At least that's what that story said in the podcast we had covered a couple episodes back. So I'll be very curious to see if of those 2,513 sightings so far, what they turn out to be. And what I'd really like to see from them that I know we'll never get from ours is a map with pinpoints of every sighting. Oh, that would be awesome. Like you said, that would never happen. So that was January 1st of 2021 to January 2022. 2022. That's what I thought you said, and I was just double checking to make sure. 11 days. Wow. That is mind blowing. Well, guys,
we're going to have to wrap things up. It has been great this week. Dirty Dan, I'll start out with you.
I wish you would have talked for 30 more seconds.
I'm going to go ahead and talk for 30 more seconds. I do want to thank everyone that did nominate us for the award. And what was the name of the award again, Simon? I will be more prepared on this next week. What was the name of the award, Simon?
Oh, man,
Thank you very much, Simon.
Nominated for Best Podcast by the Appalachian Arts and Entertainment Awards.
Simon, you bring a lot to the show. Thank you very much. No, dude, Simon, you have done great. You have made me laugh, and trust me, I have needed to laugh because it has been one of those weeks. So thank you very much for that, brother. Dirty Dan, tell us about some people you're going to tell us about this week.
All right, so we got Carbon Capture Shield, and Carbon Capture Shield is a company that was founded by a good friend of our show who will be back on soon,
Mr. DJ Nicky.
The second.
Yes. Okay.
And Carbon Capture Shield intends to transform 1 billion acres of Earth into regenerative land that restores the health of our natural environment, starting in your own backyard. By restoring the biological life in the soil, we jumpstart the natural processes which sequester greenhouse gases, break down pollutants, all while feeding and protecting your lawn from below. If you want more information or to hop on this cause, go head over to lawn.carboncaptureshield.com. I'm excited for this, just being a large property holder and really wanting to homestead and give back, and live off the land happily. It is a more plentiful product for a lot less money than what is on the shelves of the hardware stores that are full of poisons and full of politics and all that bad stuff.
Right.
There's too much BS with that stuff. Go start. It's simple. It's easy. You do it every year already, spreading seed and fertilizer. Get stuff that's going to make your lives better, your kids' lives better, generations' lives better. Lawn.carboncaptureshield.com. Do not forget to go check out the fine folks over at Till Valhalla Project. You can help spread that message with awareness. And go on YouTube, check out Adventures with Purpose, or go to their website, adventureswithpurpose.com.
Thank you very much, Dirty Dan. Simon, what do you have for us this week?
I just gotta say, you can go home. I mean, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Okay, wait. All right. I will tell you to go when it's time for that. Thank you very much, Simon. I want to thank Carlin for all the voiceover work, and be sure to check out and support our friends of the show that have their own shows. I'm talking about CK and Uncle Bill over at deadped.com, Talk Junkie with our good friend Justin Perkins, Jordan Brad of Down on the Holler, Seth Ambergy with Seth's Daily Podcast, Elliot Gertie and Beagle of SpookyFamilyPodcast.com, the Mountain Mysteries Podcast with Chris Sloan, and if you're a fan of Cronkite, he's now known as the Paranormal Trucker. You can check him, Snowman, and Large Marge out over at Paranormal Trucker on YouTube. And don't forget about the new kid on the block. I'm talking about John Marshall and Beyond the Paranormal Podcast. You can hear that every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. And you can find him on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And I will also be appearing on that show with him coming up sometime in February. And if you want to awaken more, be sure to check out Rebecca Short on TikTok and Twitch. That'll do it for this week. We'll see you next week. And until then, so long for now.
Maybe I'm not leaving. Maybe I'm just going home.
Simon?
You don't gotta go home, but you can't stay here.
Thanks for listening to Here to Chew Bubblegum. Tune in next time as we dive deeper into things the government doesn't want us to know.